to Refuse to Lose. My name is Joe Jordan. I am your host today. We're going to do something different today. We have Matt, we have David right here, and we're going to talk about this OBJ situation since today is the day he can be picked up off of the waiver. All right, so we're going to start with my man Matt, and let's talk to us about what you think is the best landing spot for him. Talk about, first let's talk about what you think his landing spot should be. Talk about his value that he can bring also, and then we're going to just move from there.
Okay. Well, after the first 7 years so far we've seen of Odell Beckham, right now I think the best landing spot for him would be the couch. I think his value on the couch would be very prolific. Those shoulders he keep holding on to every time he drop a pass and go run to the sideline crying, I think would benefit for his health, But as a professional, no, I think there's a few teams that we have to look at when we look at Odell and where his perfect landing spot could be. One, we have to look at who's going to pick up $7.25 million in cap space for a wide receiver. A wide receiver after 7 years who hasn't produced after his third year. That's what teams have to look at. Now, a team that can grab him and just run away with him and have a good time for the rest of the season, New England Patriots. They do it to everybody. They did it to Chad Ochocinco, but that fantasy football team didn't work out very well. I don't think Chad Ochocinco touched the entire season. So sometimes certain landing spots may not work, but for New England, they'll take him because they can use him. They'll do what they need to do with him via the what they need from it as a weapon. And I think they can take on the money and not hurt, because again, after this season, it's his choice where he wants to go anyway. So he's just looking for somebody where he can make a run real quick, and if it doesn't work, he's gonna go somewhere else again next year and make a run. But if it's not New England Patriots, other team that I can possibly think of is the Raiders need somebody. I know Deshaun Jackson is trying to sign over there, but give him 195-yard pass and he's hurt for the rest of the season. So bringing in Odell with Derek Carr. And the reason why I say that works, the problem with the Browns and Odell, I know I call Odell overrated. I call him overrated because of the position that he plays. He, to me, is not a 1. He is a 2 or 3 at best. And the fact that the Browns are running him like a 1 because of his contract, because he's paid like a 1, and in that contract, you have to get your targets, it's going to get forced. They're going to get forced, because if they don't get forced, what does that mean? Instead of Odell getting 9 targets, well, he's only going to get 4 because the Browns don't want to pass the ball that much so they can run the ball. So his 4 targets ain't making him happy. He needs to go somewhere where somebody can force feed him the football. Who can do that better than anybody else? Derek Carr. He force feeds Darren Waller all day. Now, Darren Waller gets open. Darren Waller can catch, and Darren Waller barely drops any football. So there is a little difference in the two as it pertains to catching the football. And the Raiders, I do believe, have the cap space to take on his contract. Outside of that, as in making a run, I don't think there's anywhere else that's going to make him happy. So, outside of those two teams, I don't see much else coming from any other team. And so far, the Lions don't even want him. They are 0-7, and they're not winning the game this entire season, and they don't even want Odell Beckham. The Seahawks, they can chirp like they want to. They're not going to take Odell Beckham. They're not going to take that contract. For what? Your offensive line is the worst offensive line football has ever seen, and your defense can't catch a cold. Why would you go grab another receiver and throw him on your team? That'd be absolutely stupid. So personally, it's either the New England Patriots or it's the Raiders.
So that means I'm free to go, right?
Oh yeah, have at it.
I couldn't wait for this. First of all, I kind of want to go about what you said about his first. He can't do nothing out his first 3 years, or his 4th year he was hurt, so of course he couldn't do nothing there. But his 5th and 6th year, his 5th and 6th year, he had over 1,000 yards.
No, he barely scratched over 1,000 yards. He had 1,035.
He had 1,000 yards. He had over 1,000 yards.
If that's supposed to impress somebody, I'm scared.
He only had 74 catches, and he was hurt. most of that year. He still had 1,000 yards. Imagine if he played the whole year, he would have had over 1,000 yards. That's my point with that. Now, as far as where he fits, contract-wise, the Patriots don't have the money. The Raiders don't have the money. The Lions don't have the money. And he already said that he wants to go to a team that's winning. So that automatically discounts the Lions. Now,
discuss a lot of teams.
The Seahawks have the money, but I kind of agree with you about them. That would be a stupid move to pick up another receiver because you already have DK Metcalf, you already have Tyler Lockett. Why would you pick up another receiver when defense is what you need help in and you need help with O-line? That wouldn't make sense. But I think that knowing who Pete Carroll is, he would make a stupid decision like that, and he may just go ahead and do it anyway. Other teams that I think that are just based on his decision on where he wants to go as far as winning, believe it or not, the Broncos have enough money to pick up that contract, but I doubt he goes there. And the other two teams that they were talking about are the Saints and San Francisco. He's not going to San Francisco for one because they ain't going no freaking where, and they don't have the money either. San Francisco has $17 million in dead cap, so they're not picking up that contract. The Bengals have the money. Chargers have the money. Steelers have the money. Washington even has the money, but I highly doubt that they go that route.
I like the Chargers actually.
The Panthers have the money. I like the Chargers too, but I think they're too Mike Williams centric right now to even think about Odell Beckham.
They're trying to fix that project.
Yeah, that was funny to say that he belongs on the couch. That's one thing he don't belong. He doesn't belong on the couch. Odell Beckham, despite what he's done the last 2 years, is still at bare minimum a top 15 receiver in the league. You can't really name 20, 25, 30, as you put in the group chat, 30 freaking receivers that are better than him. That is ridiculous. I can just pull up. I already have all the stats from all those receivers, and none of them are even close to what he did in his first 3 seasons.
Well, remember, I said you got to take a lot of those on there are 1 and 2 year receivers, so they're not going to have the stats.
That's why.
Look at what they're doing at their respective positions, better than what he's doing.
I got you, but I'm talking about based on what he did when he first came in. A lot of people said that he was better than a few receivers when he first came in, and now people are doubting him just because of what he did in Cleveland. How many? No.
A lot of people doubt him because of what he didn't do after he came back after that injury. Yeah, he had scratched 1,000 yards after the injury and then continued to deplete. But by the way, his entire stint with the New York Giants, he got his, right? But what did that do? Because for the first 5 years he was there, one winning season as a wide receiver. One. Because his first 2 years, where he was out here just being Odell Beckham, forgetting about everybody else, the team went 6-10. So what value does he have? There, he's getting 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards, but you 6-10 2 times in a row.
And his quarterback,
the year that your yardage just go down, just a smidgen, not by much.
And his quarterback,
11-5, but they went 11-5 with the same quarterback. He went 11-5 with the same quarterback.
All I can say.
But the focus wasn't Odell when they went 11-5.
But when you're a football team, your receiver is not going to get you.
Thank you.
Playoffs. Your receiver, of course, is going to make
plays. You said that last time, and I got to fix you right now. First of all, that's a lie, because if that's the truth, Joe Montana wouldn't have 4 of the.
But you talking about Jerry Rice, though.
I know, but that's one, right? That's one.
You're talking about the greatest receiver of all time,
man. That's one. Okay. Randy Moss. The Patriots wouldn't have went undefeated without Randy Moss.
Okay.
He had Brady. Come on, man.
And Wes Welker. Wes Welker led the league 3 years in a row in receiving, and they were in the playoffs with Wes Welker.
That's the Patriots, though.
You have to be a great receiver in your position to be able to take a team somewhere.
Come on, man. That's a winning environment. That's different.
Okay. Atlanta Falcons. They wouldn't be Atlanta Falcons without Julio Jones.
But they didn't always have great years.
That one Super Bowl without Julio Jones.
That's one Super Bowl. One.
Okay, without Julio Jones, they made it to any. Without Julio Jones, would they have been in the playoffs every year that they were with Julio Jones? No.
How many years did they go to the playoffs?
First of all, they were in the playoffs almost every year since Matt Ryan was a rookie. Since Matt Ryan was a rookie, Atlanta stayed in the playoffs with Julio Jones.
That's the division turned over every year. That was
for how long were they in the playoffs with Julio Jones?
Someone else won the division.
Y'all said made a team, make it to the Super Bowl. I gave you 3 or 4. You said there wasn't one. He can't even be named in half of those receivers' names that have been the reason teams made it to a Super Bowl. He hasn't even scratched being named number 1 receiver. And any time that he has been in the NFL, he has at least been third. Tell me where Odell Beckham in the season that he has been in the league has been the number 1 receiver at the end of the year.
Look, Matt,
tell me when.
Julio's time in Atlanta, he only went to the playoffs 4 times.
Thank you.
His whole career.
4 times. Ooh, that's supposed to be bad.
That's 4.
That's 4. He's been in the league for at least 12 seasons.
He hasn't made the playoffs more than he made the playoffs.
Thank you. Come on.
So when you are a receiver,
sorry, babe. I'm sorry.
when you are a receiver, you're not the guy, or you're not the person that's responsible for a playoff berth. I'm sorry.
It's the quarterback.
And the Giants never really, since Eli been there, since when they really had like a great team. They went to the Super Bowl twice.
Since Eli's been there, Eli got 2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl twice.
It's hard to get 1, and he got 2.
But they were
without Odell. Well, he got a receiver. So okay, he did all of that without receivers, right? He did all of that without receivers, right?
It was the defense. Are you?
So when he had that same defense,
it's the defense. Everyone knows if you pressure Tom Brady with 4, if you can pressure Tom Brady with 4 defensive players, you can beat him in a game. It's been proven plenty of times.
Okay, so when the great Odell Beckham came, what happened? Why didn't they go to the playoffs the first 2 years?
The defense wasn't that good. What you mean?
So then how come the Chiefs made it? The Chiefs, there's enough teams that can make it to the playoffs. Hold on, I'm not saying it's Patrick Mahomes. That's not my point.
Come on, man.
A lot of teams that can get to the playoffs without having a great defense, right? They don't have to have a great defense because what do they have? They have a prolific offense. Am I right or wrong?
Did the Giants ever have a prolific offense?
No. Win a Super Bowl? No, you can't win a Super Bowl without a great defense, but you can get there. You can get there with a prolific offense.
Was their offense prolific with Eli Manning there as the quarterback? No one has ever said that Eli Manning.
Your offense is prolific because of weapons. You gotta have weapons.
Quarterback has to be able to get it to those weapons.
Is Odell Beckham not a weapon?
Yeah, that's one weapon. That's one.
They had Brandon Jacobs too. What do you mean? They had a running game.
Okay, so Matt, let me ask you a question, Matt.
What other receiver on the team? What tight end? What running back was also good enough to help them get there?
Real quick, Matt, let me ask you a question. So you think the Giants? What have the Giants done since Odell left?
Nothing.
So what were they doing?
But what were they doing? What were they doing when he was there? Nothing.
But you're telling me that
what I'm saying is he was made a number 1 receiver, the number 1, the top guy, the double coverage guy. How many years does it take for a defense to figure out a receiver? How many years does it take?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
It takes 2 years.
Okay.
It takes 2 years, 2 to 3 years for a defense to figure out a receiver, meaning dropping those numbers down. He had the highest numbers his first 2 seasons. I don't know what he would have did his third
season. He had his most catches. What are you talking about?
He had the most catches, bro. I can catch. I can catch the ball 12 times. If I'm only getting a yard a catch, that's not doing anything.
So Matt, so you're telling me
I can have 13 catches in a game, but if I only have 50 yards,
so Matt, Odell Beckham had 1,000 yards his last year with the Giants, playing 12 games. His first 4 seasons with Baker, he had less yards than we did in 12 games a year later. So you're telling me, what changed? What changed was Giants to Cleveland.
What changed was defenses know how to play Odell Beckham, bro.
No, it's not.
Come on, he's not.
That's not
Bro,
it.
you
That is
telling
not
me?
it.
I'm telling you right now, Odell Beckham
What
cannot
can
be a
Odell?
double coverage. He
What can
cannot be the
Odell
double
do?
coverage. Your Odell needs to be. If you put him in the slot, he will be unstoppable
What can
because he's
Odell
very quick.
do?
He has really good feet, but he cannot. He is a pansy to double coverages. He wasn't getting double coverage his first 2 seasons in the league.
So is Tyreek not a pansy to double coverage this year?
I'm not, no. What did I tell you about
Oh,
Tyreek Hill
no.
this year?
You
I
said
said
the
the
double coverage.
defenses that
You
all
said
I
the
said
double
was
coverage.
what I
Tyreek has
said
not been the
was
same receiver this
defenses
year
have
because he's been
figured
double
him
coverage.
out, so he won't have as much as he's been doing. That's
All
what
right,
I said.
look,
I didn't say it was gonna stop with Tyreek Hill. I never said it was gonna stop. Go back and watch what I said. I didn't say it was gonna stop, but what I did say was, look at his numbers. Why? Look at how he's dropped because defenses figured him out. Defenses have figured out how to stop Tyreek Hill. It's not gonna. It doesn't take that long. How long did it take the defenses to figure out the Wildcat? 2 years. It took defensive coordinators 2 years to figure out the Wildcat formation, and now that formation is a dud.
all right, let's get
It
back on
doesn't take
topic.
defenses long.
But you're still
All right, let's get back on topic. David, who this best fit is where?
his best fit to me, based on what he wants to do, is Las Vegas. I think that's his best fit. However, I just don't think that they don't have the money to sign him. And I think they have what, 17 million in dead cap or 28 million in dead cap.
And they don't have the money to sign him because they got a running back.
Yeah,
they got 3 rookies they got to worry about. It's the running back, the safety, and the defensive lineman. They got to figure out what they're gonna do.
They got 28 million in dead cap. There's no way they're gonna be able to sign Odell. That's just not gonna happen. But I think that's his best fit. That's the best for what he does personally. He's a better version of Henry Ruggs. Why would you not? I mean,
Right.
I would have done it. I would have done it if they had the money, but they don't have the money, so he's not going there. The only thing I can see him doing is either going to one of the 2 teams in the division, and that's not including Baltimore, because Baltimore don't have the money either. But I'm looking at all the contracts, all the caps here, and they have 16 million in their cap and only 1.2 million free money. So that's not enough to get Odell.
No.
So he's not
Make
going.
some stuff work.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
But
they have to find some players that they can cut. They
And
can't
you
trade.
said the Chargers. You said the Chargers don't have it.
The Chargers have it. They have
they
10
do have
million,
it.
53 million. They have.
Oh yeah, it would have to be them.
And watch football team got
Yeah. 11.
He ain't going there.
Washington football team ain't winning. He's not about to go back to that.
No, we ain't going there. So look,
I think he's.
all right. So look, here's why. Okay, so I don't think the Patriots is a good fit.
No,
He wants to go somewhere where he knows that he's gonna get an accurate ball thrown to him most of the time.
Mhm.
All right, Mac Jones is a rookie, and then they're not even a pass first offense, so he don't want to go there. I do think if everybody had the cap space, if he can just say I want to go here and it can happen, the Raiders will be the best spot because they just lost a deep threat, Henry Ruggs. You know what I mean? And one thing about Derek Carr, I know you say he force feeds Waller. He really does.
But in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah,
when I say force feeds, he eyes his target very well. And when he knows where he wants to go with the ball, he's going to get it there.
But you know, Henfro, I think it's Henfro, right? He gets the most targets. I think he gets the most targets. One thing about Derek Carr, he does spread the ball around, right? He does spread the ball around, and the Raiders are streaking up, even though they lost last week, but they're streaking up, you know. So, and they're number one, and I think they tied with the Chargers in the division. So that's the best choice for him. But y'all, I've been hearing too much noise about the Seahawks. All right, these last few days, I've been hearing a lot of noise about the Seahawks. They asked Pete Carroll, is he coming? He said, he said something about USC. You know what I mean? Like he's throwing these hints out like it's gonna happen. You know, it reminds me of, you know, 2 things. When like y'all, David, with the 49ers, who gonna be the starter? And they all acting like they don't know, but you know, they kind of laughing and giggling about it, who gonna be the starters. And then, or when T.O. got hurt before the Super Bowl, and they was all asking, "Is he gonna play in the Super Bowl?" I don't know. It's gonna be a surprise. I mean, you see, telling us he's gonna be playing. So it reminds me of that. So now, although y'all think it's a bad fit, I think it's a smart move for Odell because of Russ. Right?
Yeah.
Russ is he's probably the best deep thrower in the NFL. One of the best. You know what I mean? All right. You should look at the deep balls he throws to Tyler Lockett. It's just imagine that being Odell. And on top of that, the Seahawks, a lot of people have to count them out for the playoffs. Y'all remember last year in the middle of the season, the Seahawks went on like a 6-game winning streak, something like that, right? So they about to have a bye. Well, they just had a bye week. I think Russ is coming back next week. I think he's clear to come back next week, right? Mm-hmm. So, but the only thing about the Seahawks, their defense not good. So they don't have a defense to really support that offense. And then, but him going to there, well, he won't be double covered like you said, Matt, because you got DK Metcalf on the other side. And then also you got Tyler Lockett. So he can not only play the wide out, you could, like you say, what he's best at, he could play a lot of the slot. You know, so can Tyler Lockett. So I think offensively that's good for him because he'll be with a winning organization also. The Seahawks are the Pittsburgh are the NFC version of Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I mean? They're always found to be relevant every single year since Pete Carroll got there. So I think that probably be the best, not best. I think that's where he's going to go. But the best move to me, I think that makes sense is the Raiders, you know, because their defense is better this year. And they have young quarterbacks. I mean, Derek Carr is he's like in the middle of a veteran and being
20,
young.
early 30s, late 20s.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So he's not, you know, so he's still in his confidence prime. So, and he ain't afraid of the long stop thing. Derek Carr will throw the ball, you know, so, and it's in Las Vegas. We're talking about Odell Beckham right now, right? Las Vegas is a good destination for him.
It's a good fit for him.
For his celebrity, all that stuff. That's why I don't think he would, like the Bengals have enough cap space. That would be a good move when it goes to the Bengals, I think, too. But it's Cincinnati. I don't think you want to go to Cincinnati.
You know, he basically just going up the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But then too, because of his status, he would be competing with targets with Jamar Chase.
That's true. And you know, that then it'd be the him and the Brown story twice a year. You know what I mean? So, but and then Seattle is a warm spot. I think he said he wants to be somewhere that's warm, right? So you go to Seattle.
They rain in this.
Yeah, they rain a lot, but they do have they have good weather in Seattle. But all depends on what part of Washington itself, the state, has mixed weathers. You know what I mean? It could be snowing one section of Washington, but Seattle is actually good weather. It just rains a lot. You know what I mean? So, but I think he's gonna be with the Seahawks, y'all. I think they're gonna pick him up off the waiver, and he's gonna sign the Seahawks tomorrow.
I think so too, but I have another team that I was thinking about, even though they don't have the money, but if they had the money, I feel like he would probably explode their offense even more, and that's the Rams.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Because they just cut Deshaun Jackson. Yeah. So it's not like they need a receiver, but if they had the money and they wanted to, if they would have signed Odell, that's like, all right, like now you just want to make sure that you just beat everyone else in the NFC.
Like, I don't know. Cooper Kupp getting a lot of targets, so he probably ain't gonna like that.
Exactly. That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
He can't go nowhere where he has to compete for targets. And see, that's why Seattle's not going to work.
Although in Kansas City, if he was able to go to Kansas City,
how I want him to go.
It would open up more for Patrick Mahomes because Tyreek is getting double, which means Odell's going to have better chances of being open.
Kansas City needs him.
Plus, they don't have a replacement for Sammy Watkins. When Sammy Watkins left, they basically messed everything up.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't even think of Kansas City, and now that y'all just said that, I think that should be actually his destination.
Yeah.
One, you get to be one of the targets. So it's not like you're not competing and you're not even sharing, you're one of.
They throw the ball a lot.
You take away Nico Hardman, you take away Robinson, now all those targets are yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's 7, 8 targets right there because that's 3 to 4 split between them two.
And they do a lot of and they do a lot of wide receiver like runs. You know what I mean? Wide receiver screens at Kansas City for Harmon. And that could be Odell. You know what I mean? So look, soon they mentioned that he got released. I tweeted, go to Kansas City.
I think that might not be a bad spot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Kansas City. I had another team out of my head too.
I was scared because the Rams was wearing all them shirts. And if they got the cap money, they can do it.
Yeah, man. That was the first thing that came to my head when I first heard that they were cutting him. I said, man, if the Rams sign him, then that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Because for one, you got to think about the moves they just made. I mean, they just got Von Miller. Even though Von Miller's older, he's in a defense where it's not all on him to be able to press.
Yeah, and he won't be getting double teamed.
Exactly. You got Aaron Donald there. So he's already going to get the double teams.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
It's just
this is why I use the words overrated when I talk about Odell. It ain't because of his skill or his talent. It's because of positioning where they put him. It's the same reason I call Clowney overrated. He's not a defensive end. He's not a linebacker. He should be a tackle so that he can use his speed and strength to just go straight. He's not a guy that needs to be chasing people down. Odell Beckham, if you just look at the way, because he's a great route runner. I don't know if everybody paid attention to that.
Yeah,
man.
He's a great route runner. He does not have the speed to beat double coverages. He wasn't double covered in his first year, and he wasn't double covered in his second year.
But that's because
of
coverage too, though.
No. These are the years he was playing. I'm saying
you say he don't have the speed to beat double coverage.
Has he? I'm saying, let me correct myself.
I don't think so.
Since his injury, he hasn't had the speed to beat double coverage. Let me correct that.
I think because of his injury, it may have slowed him down a little bit. But I think in the beginning, he definitely had the speed to beat double coverage. Yeah, that happened a little too often. So
it's just I don't think he was double covered as much because nobody expected him to come in the league like that and just be who he was.
So look, let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask another question. All right. So this is week 9. No, we are going to week 10. All right. So most teams 6 games left with the bye. So let's say 6 games, right? In the next 6 games, how many let's say how many catches and how many yards would y'all say Odell could possibly have? Matter of fact, do you think his averages on a game by game basis will be higher, lower, or somewhere around the same than it was with Cleveland?
I'll say higher.
It'll be higher.
All right. So
I think higher. I think Cleveland, he was only averaging 26 to 30 yards.
Man, he was on pace to have his worst year.
Yeah.
And like it was terrible. Like I think he only got like 200 some yards for the year so far.
Yeah.
In 6 games. So in 6 games, how many catches you think he can have?
232 yards to be exact. That's all he has right now.
So if he's a second receiver, how many receptions and yards you think y'all in 6 games I think he could finish with?
If he goes to a team that passes.
Well, let's say average per game.
Average, I'll say he'll average
50 to 60.
7 catches a game.
Yeah.
That's pretty good coming off his situation.
Yeah. I
being a second receiver.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go all the way and say 10, but 7.
No.
7 catches a game is legit.
Yeah.
If you look at every number 2, if you look at other number 2s in the league with good quarterbacks, they're averaging 7 catches, maybe 8 targets. So it's not far-fetched because the number 1 is averaging 13 to 12.
It kind of is because if you think about it,
it depends on where he goes.
100 receptions in a year is a great year for you're a top tier receiver, and that's like 6 and some change catches a game.
Yeah.
So he getting 7 catches a game. That's on pace to have over 100 receptions.
Right, but again, look at Wes Welker, look at Julian Edelman, look at these players who are prolific in the slot, but look at what they're averaging. They're averaging 7 to 8 catches a game, and they're averaging 1,200 yards for the season.
Yeah, but those receivers were strictly slot receivers. He was never a slot receiver.
That's his point. He's saying he is slot receiver.
That's my point now. That's what I'm saying. He's a slot now. and that's where he needs to go to be prolific.
I don't know.
If he go to Russ gonna throw that thing. Whoop.
I mean, he can be a number 2 too.
If he goes to the right team, he doesn't necessarily have to be a slot.
Yeah.
I think that would have. I think if they did that in Cleveland, it probably would have worked better if they only used him for as a slot receiver.
That was I was saying that his entire spiel with Cleveland is they should have had him in the slot.
But that's because of Baker. Baker is not accurate enough to be able to get someone the ball down the field consistently, or to be able to focus on one receiver.
No, he cannot focus on one receiver.
He can't focus on Odell.
He cannot. No, he can't focus on a receiver. If you looked at that game yesterday, they won, but he was 14 for 20, and the ball was spread. So, I mean, catch after catch. It is very true. He can't just eye down the receiver and actually hit that guy. He has to spread it. He has to. He is a game manager. Same as Alex Smith. Same as I wasn't going to say Marcus Mariota, but that project failed. But there's certain guys who are game managers. There's not a problem with that. Yeah, there's not a problem with that as long as you don't turn the ball over, as long as you complete third downs, as long as the team has a good running game. Then being a game manager ain't the issue.
But with Baker, the issue with him is he turns the ball over. That's the issue with him. He's been.
Well, he only got 3 interceptions this year.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield has never thrown over 10 interceptions, I think.
Yeah, he been good on the turnover part.
He protects the football very well.
It's just that
he's thrown the ball he's thrown 10 interceptions in the season. Trust me, he has.
But
I said he hasn't thrown more than 10 in one season.
His
most was 10.
Not issue. He just not.
And that was his third year with Odell. He had the most interceptions.
Baker just not that guy.
His first year with Odell, he had the most interceptions in the league.
2 years in a row. His first year, he threw 14 interceptions. His second year, he threw
6 or 8 because he didn't play the whole season. You sure?
That was 14 interceptions he threw. I'm looking at the stats right now. He threw 14 interceptions that year.
He did 3,000 yards, right? Something like that, 3,500 yards.
Yeah, 35 or 33.
3,700 yards.
Yeah.
Oh, 37.
But listen, I give it to Baker though. Baker's a tough dude. He a good teammate too. Like they like this dude. And he had a rough start to his career. 3 different head coaches in the first 3 seasons. But he's just not the guy when it comes down to I need my quarterback to get us back down. We down 21.
But how can we say that if he did it last year? They went to the AFC Championship game with Baker Mayfield.
Who they beat in the first round again? Pittsburgh. And how they beat them? Pittsburgh turned the ball like 4 times in the first quarter.
That's not the Browns' fault.
And they got a big lead.
But what are you supposed to do as a team? Capitalize and score, right?
No, you right on that. But Baker didn't he didn't do what I say he did. Like he didn't
he didn't take
build on a victory. You know what I mean? Like he's never been a big reason. It's been a running game. When the running game is not good, he's not good.
Oh,
that's proven. You know what I mean? So I think he only won like 4 games when they didn't go over 100 yards. So, yeah, he's not. But like you said, he's good enough to win a Super Bowl, though. I can tell you that. He's good enough
even if you base it off last year when Odell got hurt, it was based off the run game, which is what helped him out during the pass game.
Yeah, Nick Chubb was second in rushing, right?
That's anybody. That's any team.
And then they signed Kareem Hunt. I was like, what the?
That's not true for any team. Because if you want to talk about other teams, look at the Buccaneers last year. Their running game wasn't that good, and their
running game was enough to keep Tom Brady from being 3rd and 8,
but it's still
7. They don't need running backs. They don't need running backs for Tom Brady has never had or needed a running back to score to run 1,000 yards. His running backs have always been at the 800 mark.
His running back is his receivers.
It's only to keep him from being 3rd and 15. It's so he doesn't have those big gaps in his drives. That's all.
But only certain teams are like, well, we need to run the ball like the Titans. Titans can't do nothing without running the ball. This was an anomaly this week. This is an anomaly this week, but even still, AP and Peterson came off the couch and still got a rushing touchdown. So that lets you know that if without a running game, the Titans can't do but so much. I mean, they do have Julio Jones, but
look, with teams that have quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield, Tannehill, when you get a lead out on them, you basically got them on a stranglehold. They can't really do much because they're not that quarterback. Look at the Titans last year, like in the playoffs. They played the Ravens, they get an early lead, and guess what? Tannehill looked really good. You know what I mean, right? But when they lose to? The Chiefs, they didn't get a lead in early because that's what they kept saying. Don't let the Titans get a big lead early, and they just run down your throat. Get a lead on them and force Tannehill to throw the ball. Take Derrick Henry out. But against the Seahawks this year, they lost the lead bad, and they said we're going to still run the ball. And Derrick Henry had like 170 yards.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just work like that.
I mean, listen, Odell, I don't think he's going to come back and average like 7 receptions. He might not average 5 again. You know what I mean? But this, I tell you what though, next year when he starts the season off and have that chemistry, whatever quarterback he goes with, he's gonna be back.
Now to say that, I do have this to say: does he even play this year? Because is it worth a team to pick up $7 million in his contract and he's a free agent next year? Seahawks, you're right though, but it has to be some type of communication of him being there. Like the Seahawks have to be like, yeah, we'll take it and we don't care what you do next year.
No, I think if they do pick it up, that's a good point. But if they do pick it up, it has to be some type of conversation on keeping him long term.
Not necessarily.
It won't be. Because that money, that $7 million is a lot that they have to pick up this year. It's a lot.
When you claiming someone off waivers, it's not necessarily based on what they want. It's based off what you're claiming them. So
I get that, but I doubt it if the Seahawks would claim this dude without them.
See, that's another thing. There may not be a claim. He may just end up being a free agent this year and then get picked up.
Oh, I see you saying. But
he may not get claimed off waivers.
Yeah, because he doesn't. If they wait until after 4:00 today and sign him, then they pretty much good.
But he said a lot of reports saying that he wants to go to Seattle.
Yeah,
reports are saying that. So I'm telling you, they communicating him being there past this year, long term. You know, so I think he's going to see. I think it's a done deal. After Pete Carroll said, they asked him, "Is it going to happen?" He said, "Well, we'll wait and see."
Yeah, I saw that too. He stayed telling on himself. He stayed telling on him. He can't keep a secret. Like he don't know how to talk to the media, man.
Yeah, he don't.
All he had to say was, "Yeah, we're not going to answer those questions right now. We're just focused on the week." He could have said something like that.
But you know what? He actually hinted on Antonio Brown, right?
Yep, he did.
And they didn't get Antonio Brown.
Oh,
that's true.
I think he hinted on Antonio Brown. It was smart because I remember Antonio Brown was rocking out with Russell Wilson. Yeah, I think he did. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we're gonna end this right now, y'all. Thank y'all for coming on. And listen, y'all, we'll see the news tomorrow where he'll go. Tell me what y'all think in the comments, and we'll see our next episode.
Free Odell.
All right, thank you guys for staying to the end of the video. Now, before you leave, this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to like this video if you haven't done it yet. I want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done it yet. Share this video with someone you know that will be interested in listening to what we talked about today. And last but not least, hit the notification bell so you can make sure every time we upload a video, you'll be notified on YouTube. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next episode.